So, I put this together because when I first got introduced to online dating, it was in the early 90s, I believe, when AOL. Did anybody have experiences with AOL in the early 90s? Well, back then, with our generation, being 20 years ago now, it was like an opening in the earth. But it was at a time when people were getting divorced, not losing it. 20 years ago, when people were in their 30s or 40s, and it caught on like wildfire. People would fall in love on AOL. And it was almost like you were back in high school and you were falling in love for the first time. What's interesting about that is the vast majority of people never even met. They fell in love at a very private place inside their minds. And most of the time, they fell in love with people that were living 500 miles away, 1,000 miles away, and it served the purpose. It filled a space inside of them, and it created where they can, in their own imagination, half of it was in their own imagination, create a relationship with someone. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people were very much falling in love online at that time. So there's really two places where you can kind of create relationships. One is in your heart, which is what we were all kind of taught when we were younger. And where's the other place? In your head. I've actually written a whole book about this subject, and basically, quickly, I'm going to describe what I learned from 6,000 conversations, written, documented conversations that I had on AOL from 1993 to 2003. And this is what I had learned a lot about relationships, but I had these very intimate discussions with people. What I learned from their stories, just incredible. And what I basically learned was, from 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, and fell in love